Yo, what is up guys? Chase Arevalo back at you with another fucking video, and in this one we're going to be breaking down part 2 of the best court level tennis points that you've never fucking seen before. And let's keep going into it. If you're not familiar with who I am, I coached at IMG Academy. I was mentored by Rick Macy, Nick Bollettieri, the two best tennis coaches of all time without a doubt. And I also coached Lulu Sun, top 50 player in the world currently. And yeah, I played D1 tennis, so let's get into it, guys. So I want you guys to pay attention to where he went on his inside-out forehand target. Look at his target intention there. So when he hits the inside-out forehand, you can go with a variety of angles, but in general, like if you're starting out to use the inside-out forehand a lot and you want to learn how to use it effectively, first prioritize the depth, right? If you're getting it to break, you still want it to break a little bit deeper here. You don't want to aim so short on the inside out from a developmental standpoint at the beginning. Let's see where he goes here. Is he going to go inside out or inside in? Let's see. So pay attention there, right? He got the short ball. He got the short ball. Now, is he going to go inside out or is he going to go inside in? I guess here, let's see. So this is an interesting shot because this ball's right in the middle. He's making contact right in the center of the court, but based on his positioning, he's still technically on the ad side, right? His body is clearly in the ad side. So this is inside out, and the reason why he goes inside in is because he cannot hit a winner cross court here. His opponent is like 20 feet behind the baseline, and this guy can fucking move. So he wants to approach. He knows he's coming in, but it's a conscious decision for him to go to this side of the court. And he's not just saying, oh, my opponent's on this side, so I'm going to go to the other side. All right? So you can apply this for yourself. When you get that short ball, make a decision. Can I hit a winner cross? If not, go to the other target. See what he does. It's crazy wide stance. Notice the footwork he took here. So look, this guy here goes down the line, and look how pronounced his steps are consciously to go open stance. He knows he wants to create the open stance. Look, huge step with the left, cover distance. Your first step, cover distance. If you're already there with one step and you can pop out into an open stance, notice he goes directly into the open stance. That's called efficiency of footwork. That's called he doesn't have to take a million adjustment steps. Why take a million adjustment steps when I could take 2 steps if they're the right steps? Right? So, textbook example of intentionality with finding the open stance. Amazing shoulder turn from Alex Zverev. That's why he has one of the best backhands. He turns his shoulders every single time, and he never messes that up. Look, he can literally see his back. His whole back is facing forward. There's no doubt about his shoulder turn. Also, look at the other checkpoints he hits on his backhand. The edge of his racket is facing directly forward. His strings are facing the left side. His right arm is relatively straight. His left elbow has a little bit of bend in it. And if you notice now when he hits the ball, the left elbow will straighten as he goes to contact. So pay attention. Let me run that back one more time for you guys. Notice, look, is his left elbow straight or is it bent? Is it more straight or is it more bent than it just was? If it's more straight, you got to subscribe to the channel. You got to. All right? But seriously though, this is a textbook example of how to check if you're doing the right things on your backhand. On my backhand, you can see visually in video, does it start more bent? And then does it get more straight at contact? If you're not doing that, there's something that's going on. And there's something that you can improve on, which is a great thing. You got room for improvement. So if you're stuck, that's one factor on your backhand that you can look at. And take a look. Could you get a little bit more extension with your elbows consistently? Or are you hitting every backhand like this, like a freaking T-Rex in the Jurassic period, like this? You know? If your backhand is like that and your game is stuck and you haven't taken a look at your technique, you're fooling yourself. Because why not work on that and be able to hit a better backhand? Like, why the fuck would you not want to do that? Right? Unless you hate tennis and you hate your game, you know? But that's why I'm a huge proponent on optimizing your technique if you're stuck. If you're not stuck, fuck it. Wow. Wait, is that Patrick Gibson? Let me see. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Notice on this serve how he tucks his left arm. He tucks his left forearm right above his belly button. Look. Right above his belly button, right below his rib cage. Great split step. You can clearly see his right shoulder blade here. You can clearly see how Felix's back is facing the other side of the court. His right shoulder blade is facing the other side of the court. The number one thing with recreational players' ground strokes and really just junior players' ground strokes is that they don't turn their shoulders enough. Most coaches don't actually bake that in with their students. Most coaches aren't going to tell their students to keep their left hand on the racket. And some students don't think that that's even essential. And guess what? That's why their forehand's ass. So it's like, you got to be willing to fix these things, guys. You got to. That's actually a really good miss. Look, if you're in a similar situation as this, you change direction. I think this is Patrick Gibson over here. Patrick Gibson does what he's supposed to. He's got to punish that ball cross, make Felix go on the run, right? He hit a good shot. On the run forehand, he misses it long. Now, he does miss it long. Now, that's not the end of the world, right? You can miss that shot. But the fundamental problem there, if I got to be overly critical with this, right? Like if I was his coach, I would be like, I really care about your game, so I'm going to be overly critical, right? So what I would tell him is, well, was your intention to have that height on the ball like that? He hit that ball really high, really heavy. He can make that. You can make that. But I would argue in those scenarios at this level, especially pro, like I would even tell this to like good juniors and like D1 players. And this guy's a top fucking pro. What he should have done there is go for a flatter ball, lower over the net, and try to go from defense to offense in that shot. Now, if you're way stretched on the run and you have to go to continental grip and you can't get there, no, you don't need to try to slap it like that, right? But he's there in time. He's actually there with a good amount of time because he hit it with a forehand grip and he could get under and hit a heavy shot. So because I know he's a really good mover and he's a great athlete and he can get there, I would say, dude, play that ball lower over the net, flatter, and you can make the same error. but the intention should have been different. He should have tried to really drive that ball a little bit flatter and kept it lower over the net. It's actually not that low of a percent shot for him because these are good players. These are like skilled players, right? If you're training some beginner who can't make 2 fucking balls in a row, no, don't tell them to, slap that ball cross court flatter, right? But I hope that context makes sense for you guys. But let's continue. One thing that you can see here that is applicable for you specifically is, well, I noticed when he's preparing on his backhand, his elbows are like way more straight when he's preparing. He's not really bending his left elbow too much when he's like turning and preparing. They do straighten a little bit, but like just take a look at when he prepared. Look when he prepares, look. His left elbow's a little bent here, but when he turns his shoulders, he gets both elbows completely straight. Look, they're basically completely straight, both of them, right? So one thing that you'll notice, and this is another thing that I adjust with students, is experiment. If you're having to kind of rebuild your backhand, right? Your coach might tell you to straighten your elbows and point the tip of the racket to the back fence. And what that's going to do is it's going to simplify your stroke, and it's going to basically make it more rotational. And what you're going to notice is when he turns, all he has to do is maintain the distance of his elbows, right? Because what fundamentally happens is when you bend your elbows, you have to go from a bent to a straight position. So you're going from point A to point B. Basically here, you're eliminating the point A and you're just going from point B going forward, right? So you can start to see that simplifies it. So if you're struggling with your backhand, try copying a preparation like this, where the ball comes to you. All you do is you point the racket literally straight back and get your arms pencil straight. And you'll be so shocked. If you can commit to keeping your elbows that straight as you rotate and turn your body, the result's gonna be huge. Promise you that. But notice like the concepts there, right? It's like he does something slightly different with his elbows, but he's still turning his shoulders, right? He's still doing all the basic things. He's just simplifying the preparation there. The racket's still on the hitting side, right? The elbows still get to that same position at contact. So let's continue. Crazy angle from Nishikori there. So if you're in this situation where you give your opponent an easy overhead, you only have one thing to do, which is you have to guess. If you do not guess, you're going to have 0% chance of getting to that ball against like a good player, right? If they have a terrible overhead and they're just going to hit it down the middle, whatever. But if they can execute a good overhead and they could put it away either side, your job is right when they're committing to going to the ball, you have to run early and guess and go. This is like the most advanced strategy stuff that they're not telling you guys. And I literally learned this from Rick Macy himself. All right? So that's what you got to do. You got to guess and go. Let's see how early he goes. Yeah, it's like no chance there, bro. It's like no chance there. I guess he kind of guessed, but he didn't really commit to a guess. Because if he executes that shot like big, you're not going to be able to make up for that time. So your only chance is go early. You got to go really early on those. Let's take a look at Murray's preparation on his backhand. So, what does he do? His right elbow is straight. His left elbow is almost straight, but it does have a little bit of bend. So notice the left elbow doesn't have to be so bent like this, but it should have a little bit of bend. Now, when he turns, it's interesting. Murray turns a little later. It's interesting. He turns his shoulders like this, and then he gets to kind of this position here where his edge of his racket does face forward, but it's not like, if we're talking technically speaking, it's not like perfect per se, right? But if you look at the other checkpoints he hits, his left elbow is bent, his right elbow is straight, he turns, so his right shoulder blade is facing forward, his chin is on his shoulder, right, when he's turning on his backhand. So that's a cue you can use, chin to shoulder, all right? And when he goes to the ball, look how straight his left elbow becomes. Keeping the left hand on the racket until it bounces. So he's patient going cross. Patient. He's patient. He's in no rush. So that's crazy. Notice. Nishikori doesn't go close stance there. Look. Open stance, pushes off the right foot. Big return. He moves up. Little adjustment step. Pop out into open stance. Step, rip. Then the left foot touches. He stepped with the right, pushed off the right, ripped it. Then the left foot touches. You can copy that. You can do that too. Step with the left, then make contact. That's the timing there. Step on the run, step on the left, then make contact. Incredibly clean technique from Casper Ruud. Look how turned his shoulders are here. Look how turned. You see how long he keeps his left hand on the racket? Guys, there's a reason for that. You see how high his right elbow is? There's a reason for that. You see how he's airing out his right armpit? There's a reason for that. You see how he's keeping his chin on his shoulder like this? There's a reason for that. You see how long he kept the left hand on? Look at the left arm. See how it's parallel with the baseline here? You see how it's level, it's balanced? You see how he's airing out his right armpit? His right elbow is up. His right hand is around the same height of the elbow. Doesn't always have to be higher. You can experiment with that. It should be right around the same height. Notice how he's setting the racket on the right side of his body, around hip height. Notice return middle. Why is the return deep middle? Keeping the left hand on the racket until it bounces. I would argue technically this guy here, he undoes his turn very early. I think that's a technical flaw in this guy's forehand here. Keeping the left hand on the racket till it bounces. He's faking, going drop shot. Cross court on the drop. Oh no. Oh my god. He's got to get lower there in his body. Great split step. Notice how he pivots his left toe to the left side here. See how he kind of just got his elbow kind of almost straight and then just kind of went forward with that same angle? That's how you block the ball. That's how you block the ball. Keep it simple. You don't want to manipulate so many variables when you're blocking the ball. Tough one. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you got any value out of this, like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel again, and I will see you guys in the next video.